Hi and welcome to our art video, where today I hope that I'm going to paint a vase of flowers and that you can paint along with me. My name is Ann Kinahan. I'm one half of DrinK in a Hand Art Productions. The other half is Pete, who's behind the camera. I have to say right at the start, I'm not an expert painter by any means. And there's no guarantee that this will turn into a vase of flowers, but I do enjoy painting, and I've been told recently that if you enjoy sitting down with your paints, then you can call yourself an artist. Welcome to my studio, by the way. This is our utility room. It's slightly unusual because I'm lucky enough to have a wood burner in this utility room. If you find me taking off clothes during the course of this video, that's because my husband will have come in and stoked the fire. It's already very hot in here. Now, recently I've been lucky enough to attend some online workshops run by someone called Bob Burridge. Bob is an American artist, where he demonstrates easy way to produce beautiful paintings, and in particular floral displays. So today I would like us to try together to put into practice what he has shown me, to see if we can do it together. If you are interested in watching Bob paint yourself, you can find him on YouTube just by searching Bob Burridge or Bob Blasts. He calls his little videos Bob Blasts. And if you would like to find out about any of his online tutorials or his workshops, you can find these on his own website, which is www.robertburridge.com. Now, Bob always starts by telling you what materials you need. So today I have two little failed canvases, which I've just painted over. First of all, I gessoed them or put a coat of white paint, and then I've just put a bit of colour as well, so I'm not starting with a completely blank canvas. And another equally failed canvas here. In terms of brushes, Bob always says whatever brush you think you might need, think bigger. So I have a flat brush here. And I could, I suppose, there's a bigger brush here. I hope you're watching this, Bob. Here's a bigger brush. I might use that one. I have a pointed brush as well, one that takes a lot of colour. I might not use this. And then towards the end, if we get towards the end at all, I've got a much smaller brush. I've also got a toothbrush in case we want to flick some paint. Now, colours for today, and we're not talking about using lots of colours. Bob teaches that you can paint with just 4 colours. So he uses a colour wheel, and normally I have his app on my telephone. You can just download the Bob Burridge colour wheel off the iPhone App Store. But because I don't have his hard copy of his colour wheel, I just made a copy of it here. And today we're going to use some colours of this, but you can find his colour wheel online. So he says that if your dominant colour is red, which ours will be today, then your focal point colour will be a blue-green colour. And then to spice up that focal point, what you will need is some green-yellow, a very bright green, and a purpley blue, something between purple and true blue. So I've put those there. Now I've put those colours out on my palette already. What Bob does is he uses his table as a palette, and I don't have a big enough table here in my utility room. So my palette is in fact a tray, an ordinary tray from the shop down the road, and on that I've put some kitchen towel, which I have poured about a kettle full of water on, and then I've put my paints out on there. So I've got my red, and in fact I've put a couple of reds. I've got my blue-green, so a bluey green there, a cerulean blue. And then my spice up colours, I've got a very bright green there, and I put purple and blue, and I plan to mix those together when I want to use those. At this stage I've now put my finger in it, so it won't be so good. I've also got titanium white because I know we'll be using some of that, and I've got black. And these are all acrylic paints, by the way. So let's get started. Now, one of the things that Bob always says is that when you start a painting, this is the time to have fun, and it really doesn't matter what you do. So we're going to start with our dominant colour, which is going to be red, and try to produce this kind of effect, or any kind of effect. I don't think it matters at all. So I'm going to use, maybe I'll use my biggest brush. Here you go, Bob. And put it in and just get some of the red and just put it on. And I'm doing both canvases at the same time. That's partly so if one goes very wrong, I've got another one to work with, and it's partly so that if I need one to dry at some stage, I can be working on the other one. Also, it could be, there's a chance it could be a little bit more productive. What if we get 2 paintings at the end of this? The other thing I could have done instead of using the brush is I have plenty of kitchen towel here folded ready to go, and I could just put that in the water and go on using my reds and spread them all over. I think I'd like some darker colours, so I'm going to now mix up some of this red with some black. And I'm just mixing it on my palette. I think that's out of sight of the camera, but I'm just telling you, I'm just mixing my ordinary red with a bit of black just to make it darker. And I'm going to put some of that on. I thought I would actually have one of these as a portrait shape picture and one as landscape, but we might have to see what we actually put on it before we decide finally. I've got this other red as well. Let's mix this in a bit. This red is a kind of fuchsia pink, which is just gorgeous. I think one of the things Bob says about his colour wheel is that if the wheel says use red, it doesn't have to be just that red, it can be any kind of red. So be free. Right, now I'm going to, I think, dab on some more of the very bright red, just using my kitchen towel. So I've put it in here, dabbing it in the bright pinky red, and I'm going to blob some of it on here. We're quite happy if this looks a mess. Well, I think we are. Ask me later. I think I'd like some more darks on this one, so let's try a bit more with the brush. Rub this in here. I'm just mixing again some more red and black. Dabbing that on. And oh, the toothbrush. We haven't used the toothbrush yet. Let's have a go with that. So I've put it in the brighter colour. Oops. She dropped a big blob of paint on the painting there. But again, I'm not going to worry. I don't think it matters. And all of this is very wet. But again, and that's one of the reasons Bob paints with the pictures, the canvases flat on the table, is so that you can use very wet paint. I quite like this effect. I think Pete said, when I said earlier I was going to use the toothbrush, he thought I was going to give a demonstration of cleaning my teeth. But no, you're all right. We're just going to go with this. I think this is a good effect, especially against the black and the darker background. Right. So what I'm going to do now is let this dry. We have these at this stage, and I'm going to walk away, make a cup of tea, and leave them to dry.